So I came in a state 34 years ago in 1981, attracted by Hollywood, and I realized that being a chef is more prestigious than being a director. When I came in the 80s, first of all, food in general was not such a topic as popular as now. And kosher food was really, nothing to talk about, and I always had that frustration because I wanted to show my friends, people, that kosher food can be exciting, phenomenal, delicious, and there's no apologies to make when you present good kosher food. So several years later, after different turns in my life, I got the occasion of opening the first store. And that's where the idea, the concept of the pretzel challah came about and developed and is what it is now. Is really according to what I believe kosher could be and should be. Delicious, healthy, nourishing, creative, and definitely doesn't need any apologies. I was born in a kosher family, and when I was 10 years old, my mother told me, if you eat treif, you'll die on the spot. And so at 10 years old, I immediately wanted to disprove her, because I realized that you don't die. And all my friends were eating treif and they didn't die. And as a young man, I lived a double life, being kosher at home and being non-kosher outside. And I grew up in this situation, and I came to the States, and I did a lot of things, and nothing was working. Every project would come to a wall. Every company or every business venture will start, going very well, and then suddenly it's like a rag was taken under my feet at the last minute for reasons absolutely under control, including an earthquake. And then I met my current wife and life partner, who was kosher. And then I started to do business with her that was kosher. And then I was hired by someone else who wanted to do a kosher project. And then I got a kosher partner, and things happened in my life that whenever I was touching anything kosher, the door opened by themselves. One day we decided to open this restaurant called Got Kosher, and I decided that day that I had to walk my talk and to be kosher myself. The day I made that decision, it's like my soul came home. I really felt in my body, in my life, in my understanding of my feelings that I felt at home. I felt safe. I didn't have to lie. I didn't have anymore. I didn't have to live a double life. So being kosher became my way of life. And I realized that's what kept me being Jewish. So kosher was my anchor, that no matter where I was going, this very, 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 very small voice that was in me every time I didn't eat kosher, that was telling me, you're not eating kosher. That very, very faint voice that I put aside for years came back and anchored me in knowing who I am. From that, I realized that many people are in that situation. Many people are struggling with this issue, their identity and what they are told to do, and I'm offering them by doing Got Kosher a place where kosher food is delicious, a place where they can eat without guilt, good food without guilt, without scruple, without retenue, without hesitation, and feel as satisfied and filled up spiritually and physically as if they eat non-kosher anywhere. There's nothing to envy to the non-kosher world. So here we have the challah that we make especially for Rosh Hashanah and for the whole month of the high holidays. Traditionally, Jewish bakery would make a round challah to symbolize the return of the cycle of the season, and would put raisins in it to make it sweet. But I took it a little further. I know, for example, that at Rosh Hashanah we dip the apple in the honey to symbolize also the new season, the new winter season, the fruit of that season, and the honey to make our year sweet as the honey. So I took the apple and the honey and I put them in the challah, as well as the raisin, as well as the round shape. In addition, I put on top of the challah sesame seeds, so that our good deeds, our mitzvah, multiply as the seed of sesame. But I also ended up the challah with a Tunisian tradition of making the challah, the end of the challah, looking like a hand. And what is this hand in the period of Rosh Hashanah? You know, during the whole month preceding Rosh Hashanah in Elul, we look at our mistakes and our misdeeds and we reflect on our action. And between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we pray and we ask God for forgiveness, Yom Kippur being the day of judgment. So the hand is like the hand of the beggar asking God to let him live on the way of Yom Kippur.